cults and cult followings. You have a cult about UFOs and aliens creating humanity, a foot reading cult, and the Russian cult of Gadget Hack Wrench. This is what you're going to dedicate your existence to. But what I've always found even more perplexing is cult classics in film, and more recently content creators on the internet. Most of these cults require a lot of dedication, leading to a lot of impressionable followers. Now mix this with the internet and essentially millions of semi-classic Sonic fans, and you have a recipe for disaster.
Sonic game ever. Idiots!
Or to be more specific, a recipe for manipulation. Lest that be through ridding your audience of their brain cells by the dozens, pandering, or most obnoxiously, isolation and censorship. I swear the Filter and Club Penguins chat is going to look liberating in comparison to where some of these content creators will take it. Look, I'd be lying if I said I've never even pondered the idea of having a cult following myself. I mean, I'd enjoy being treated like the physical embodiment of the entire Star Wars series, or even more tragically, The Room. I'm not saying being part of or having a cult following is automatically unjustifiable. My argument is more so what you do to warrant having a cult. There are plenty who have just earned it through respect and speaking their mind, and then there are others who just piss people off and pander to obtain one. One such culprit who's made their rounds on YouTube once again is Fousey Tube, due to his convention, which, like TanaCon, was a catastrophe.
Not supposed to be that way, though. It's actually supposed to be completely sold out for a show that was supposed to start at 6 o'clock, but never did. It's a YouTuber who I believe goes by the name of Fousey. So instead, what happened is some kind of generic threat, possibly a prank.
With false promises of Drake being there, poor quality all around, and to top it off, a bomb threat. He's also clearly in over his head. Some do speculate that he's not mentally sound, and if that is the case, I hope he seeks help, but that doesn't excuse him from being an example of misusing a cult following. Observe this. First, he begins giving permission to his audience to formulate their own opinions.
I'm going to play that interview in full from my perspective so you guys can see how I handled that call and you guys can formulate your own opinions.
Then after that, he preaches how he's essentially the only one telling the truth and hammers in that he's the only one doing the right thing.
Like, I've already spoken my truth. The truth will set you free, so I might as well go on and say everything that I have to say. So when you do the right thing, sometimes it feels like the wrong thing.
No evidence to back it up. You would just have to take his word for it. And when you're doing that, are you really formulating your own opinion? It feels like the modern version of McCarthyism, except instead of being polarizing by falsely accusing heaps of people in the government as communists, instead we're wasting our time being divisive about half-assed celebrity gossip and failed conventions. Look, I get it if he's your idol, whatever, make a shrine of him. But don't preach to me about how he's breaking boundaries and pulling his audience to positivity when he's making videos addressing other people so frequently. It would be hard not to see him as a drama channel. Being positive and learning from mistakes are not mutually exclusive. However, he still retains this cult following who believes his every action is for the greater good because that's all he preaches, never admits fault, censors those who question his godly image, and fails to even practice what he preaches, further making sure his cult remains loyal. Even looking at his response to PewDiePie, his ego just inflates to bling bling levels when it should be like flat Stanley deflated levels.
Something in your life that you are absolutely hell-bent to make happen, you have got to understand that you're going to be fighting against something. People are going to be pushing back against you, and it is going to be your ability to hold true to that vision that's going to determine whether you can pull it off.
And when you have an army, you must fight back, you crusader. Back on track. Another example, while dated, is Riley J. Dennis. Like Fousey and other cult leaders, she has misled her audience to box them in an echo chamber. This can easily be shown through a response to criticism, assuming the agenda of those who dislike her videos, rather than actually listening to people on a case-by-case basis. Even taking a look at this gem I so tragically stumbled across, how YouTube could prevent harassment, allow me to summarize what she states. People disagree with my agenda, and due to the fact that I can misinterpret these criticisms as personal remarks, I can not only delegitimize them, but also claim they don't deserve a platform to begin with. She shares how to completely annihilate harassment here on YouTube via a block feature. She would like to not only be able to block creators so that she doesn't see them, which is fine on its own, I don't really care. My problem is she wants to be able to block creators for her subscribers.
Leads me to
My first point. If YouTuber A blocks YouTuber B, B's videos should not appear in the suggested videos section next to YouTuber A's videos.
How dare audiences be able to decide for themselves what they watch when there are critics afoot? If it's not already transparent, this is clearly an attempt to leave her audience isolated. Aw yeah, gents, 100% free speech. Whether you're a master wordsmith or the linguistic equivalent of a newborn, an opinion can be shared and worded however the person so chooses. And due to purely the nature of an opinion on the basis that it's subjective, and there's seemingly as many people as there are grains of sand at this point, and some grains of sand seem to be smarter than some people at this point, you always have someone who disagrees with that idea. And just as you have the right to state that original opinion, the other person should be able to counter that with their own idea. Hell, I'm doing that right now. Otherwise it would be like selective free speech. So let's say since the right opinion made a video about how he dislikes pineapple on pizza and supposedly I disagreed with that and made a response, it would only take the right opinion a tap of the finger to have my video and ideas along with them vanish. Sure, by keeping them absolutely brain dead, they may be more inclined to follow your word, but everyone outside of that corner of the internet will be well aware that they are ill-informed, and now your cult won't have that punch to be taken seriously. Then you've lost practically the only purpose of having a cult following in the first place. Yes, I'm insinuating that people should, I know God forbid, be independent thinkers. Yeah guys, don't read the replies to this. Let me invalidate them because they're wastes of air. You also have Jake and Logan Paul, who could likely convince the entirety of their fan base to drink the Kool-Aid. Look, even when someone as tame as Watch Mojo's people criticize you, it's time to pack it up. Obviously, I don't condone harassment, but this fantasy of an isolated internet to protect their cults is abysmal and is an example of egregious censorship. And if you need to make sure your audience doesn't hear other people's perspectives, it's likely because your idea isn't that strong to begin with. Take away what you want from this video. I apologize you had to endure it.